You hear me, Conway?
What's going on, everybody? It's
There
Conway. It's Dom
and Dommy Feds.
and Dommy Feds. All right, it's your new
right.
faces. We're taking over the Jobber Knocker podcast. Okay, we're doing New
Jobber
Japan
Knocker has
Pro
gotten
Wrestling.
hacked.
Yep, by two schmucks. We're doing
fucking legit jobbers.
Yeah, wear the shirt. Okay, so today we're going to talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling, Best of the Super Juniors 29. We're going to tackle some other topics as well, but that is the main focus. So I think let's get into it. Nice and easy.
Yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, New Japan Pro Wrestling, biggest company in Japan. They do tournaments, probably 5 tournaments, maybe 6 through the course of the year. One of their big ones is the Best of the Super Juniors. Junior heavyweight wrestlers from around the world all come together at New Japan Pro Wrestling for 2 blocks of round robin till we get to who has the best record. And that's based on points. 2 points for a win, no points for a loss, 1 point for a draw. And at the end of it, whoever has the most points, they face off in the block finals, and the winner of that match face off in the finals. And then we have our champion, the Best of the Super Juniors. Okay, past champions: Will Ospreay, Kushida, Prince Devitt, now known as Finn Balor, Hiromu Takahashi, Jushin Thunder Liger, Tiger Mask, the fourth one won it twice, and we've had such competitors as Kyle O'Reilly. The Young Bucks have been in it. All the names I mentioned who have won, and a few heavyweights from New Japan. So this is my. We're in 29, so I've seen about 9 Best of the Super Juniors. Dom, when we started to talk about this, you have not watched any of them.
No, not in full.
So you've just seen matches here
from
and
them,
there?
but never watched Red.
Okay. So, yeah. So Best of the Super Juniors started last night, or Saturday night. Or in Japan, it was Saturday night. For us, it's Saturday morning. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I've stayed up for other New Japan events before, mainly Wrestle Kingdom, but not for a Best of the Super Juniors. So, how do you want to start this? You want to go through the competitors, or?
I mean, I guess if you want to start with the A block, which already took place on May 15th, technically, I guess you want to start there.
Yeah, the first.
And we'll recap what happened then.
Yeah, the first matches of the A block started on the 15th. Do you have those matches in front of you?
I do.
Okay, give us the rundown of who took place in the A block.
First match that I have on the list. I don't know if these go in order of how the match came off on the tournament. Ace Austin versus Clark Connors.
Okay, so
Alex Zane. Okay.
So Ace Austin from Impact, Clark Connors from New Japan Strong. Ace Austin had his Impact X Division title with him.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he had. I'm glad when somebody from another promotion who has a title comes to New Japan for anything and has their belt with them. I love it. It gives it shines a spotlight on that company and that wrestler, and it shows the Japanese fans who may not know who this person is that they are something because they have that belt. Ace Austin,
I feel like belts shine a little brighter over there. They mean a little more when you see them. It's important.
right?
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Right, no, 100%. And the crowd knows that. Ace Austin picked up the win over Clock Connors. He won with the fold, which I've always thought is a cool move. I expect a good showing from Ace Austin. I have him a total of 12 points, which is 6 wins, 3 losses. I have him probably, like, if we were to rank it in a block A, probably 4th or 5th. I said this to you earlier when we were talking. Block A is the group of death, and as we go through, you'll see why. This block has probably like 4 or 5 people that could win the whole thing.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you want to go through the competitors throughout the match. Like Ace Austin, obviously, I'm very familiar with. One of the youngest, brightest stars, and not just Impact, but in wrestling. I think he's in his mid-20s, somewhere from 24 to 26. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, probably
somewhere in that range. And every time the kid comes out, he looks in better shape. His matches are crisper. Like, this kid he just gets better and better every time out, and he has been the face of the X division, in my opinion. So I love Ace Austin. I'm a huge fan. I'm glad he's there. I love it for him. I love it for Impact. I know absolutely zero about Clock Connors. So if you want to give me something on him, I don't know the first thing about him.
So Clark Connors is a New Japan Strong talent. New Japan Strong is the American promotion for New Japan. He was one of their... Go ahead.
Yeah. No. When you say that, is that like when they come over, how they built that dojo in LA?
Yes.
Is that in New Japan America when that happened right before COVID, correct?
Right.
Like
that was about 2018, 19.
18, 19. They threw that dojo up in LA.
Yeah.
Looked like they were going to break open into the States. COVID happened, and now I'm glad to see everything. Seems like it's falling back into place.
Yeah. So Clark Connors, Carl Fredericks, DKC, I think his name is. He was at the Collision show.
Okay. I started at 7, so I missed like the first hour of that. I actually missed the match I came in on was like, just so you know.
So Clark Connors is one of the first classes. He's probably the first class from New Japan LA Dojo when it reopened, because it was open before. They had to close it for whatever reason, and then they reopened it. So Clark Connors, he's done well in New Japan Strong. He's been a good hand for them. He had a few tours of Japan before COVID, didn't go so well. So with this tournament, I'm not expecting a lot from him. That's not his fault. It's, again, he's in the block of death, in my opinion. So I have him at a combined 4 points, which is 2 wins, 7 losses. He can.
That's right. I have your article over here too.
He has the opportunity to get one more win. I just think he's there to, again, be a good hand, be somebody who can make somebody look good and put on a good showing, and just go back to New Japan Strong when it's over.
Cool. Okay. The next one, you might have to give me a little bit of help with the last name. It's Alex Zane versus Kanemaru.
Yoshinobu Kanemaru.
Thank you.
Okay. So Yoshiharu, as I looked away for 2 seconds, Yoshinobu Kanemaru is very good in team matches. He is. He mentored El Desperado. He mentored Taichi. He's mentoring Doki right now, who's in the B block, along with El Desperado. But when it's singles, it's just it doesn't click for him. He doesn't click with the crowd. It's just one of those things. I feel bad saying this. I don't see Kanemaru getting more than 2 to 4 points, and those points are really just upsets, something to affect the standings for the going towards the end.
Do you see him beating Zane? Do you see him beating Zane?
Oh, he lost to Zane. Yeah, he.
I'm sorry. That's right. Yeah, this already happens. He loses, so Zane wins. Because I know Alex Zane through GCW, so that's the only place I've seen him.
Yeah,
and he's not bad, and he seems like he's starting to find his character. I guess like all of a sudden, the last couple times out in GCW, he's got the fur coat on, he's got the eye patch. He looks like he's put on about 10 or 15 pounds of muscle since the last time I seen him. Maybe I just wasn't paying close enough attention, but Alex Zane seems to me to keep. Maybe someone to keep your eye on coming up out of the independent scene, but I only know him through GCW.
One of the things I like about Alex Zane, and this is totally the fat kid in me, he names his move after Taco Bell stuff. He has the Baja Blast.
I saw that.
So he's got my vote. I love the
kid.
I haven't seen much of him. I will say one funny thing from night one. The announcer for New Japan, who was alongside Kevin Kelly, was like, "Oh yeah, he went over to WWE for a learning excursion, and then came back," which is just a slight jab at WWE. He didn't go which was fun.
So what was he doing? What was he doing in WWE? You said that earlier. Where was he?
He was signed around the time AG Anthony Green was signed, I believe.
Okay.
He was just there as an enhancement talent. He was just there to. I don't think he.
Did he make TV?
He made TV a few times, yeah. I think they saw him as clay that they could mold, and
he wasn't
tried a few different things, and it just wasn't clicking for him. And sometimes it's just like you can't connect to the character they want to give you, so it's just not going to work out. And
look at Sami Zayn, man. Like he's probably in that line of thinking. Yep.
So
no, sorry, not Sami Callihan. I apologize.
Yeah, and Callahan took what they were going to give him in WWE and used it in Impact a little bit. It was probably the version he wanted to do. But so Alex Zane, I feel like he's going to get 8 to 10 points, somewhere around there, and he's going to look good, and they're probably going to bring him back. He's just an unknown to me, honestly, and I'm going to say this a lot, but it being in the A block, and we're going to get to the names of the A block, but Alex Zane, if you told me he's going to get 12 points or 14 points, 14 would be a stretch, but 12 you could sell me on.
So this block, when they win, do they continue to fight each other within this block? Like, would the next round be Ace Austin versus Alex Zane?
Yeah. So you know what I mean? So it's a round robin.
They stay within their block.
Right. Each block is a round robin. Once you face everybody once, that's when we get to the finals of the block.
Round.
So
finals of the block.
Finals of the block, and then it's the finals of the whole thing. So the first half of the block, or excuse me, the first half of the round robin, New Japan will make some 6-man tags, 8-man tags. You just get to see people, and then that'll be the first half of the show, and then the second half will be
I noticed that
singles matches. Once we get to the halfway point,
it's all block. It's all block matches.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right.
The next one is Francesco Akira versus SHO.
So Francesco Akira versus SHO. So Francesco Akira came in with fanfare. He came in with he's part of the United Empire, which is Will Ospreay's faction.
Yes.
Grado Khan, Jeff Khan, Aussie Open, TJP, who's in the B block. Francesco Akira is my pick to win, my unbiased pick to win, because all the fanfare. He got the vignette. He got some build. He came at Wrestling Dontaku, which was their last pay-per-view, and that was his first appearance. He didn't wrestle. He showed up after the IWGP title match, made his presence felt. There's a lot of fanfare. And I feel like he's going to get around 14 points. He's only going to lose twice. And his first, and when it comes to show, so New Japan does Young Lion groups essentially. It's the classes. So think of like school graduation classes.
Gotcha.
So Sho, Yo, who were a tag team, and then Master Wato were the same graduation class. I don't like anybody from that class. My problem with Sho is he is, to me, the junior heavyweight version of Evil, and no one likes Evil.
Evil and Sonata. He was evil and Sonata, right?
Right. They broke up. Evil turned heel, and joined Bullet Club and formed the subgroup House of Torture, which Sho is a part of. I don't like Sho. He's boring. He's so boring. He has a decent look, but he's just so boring. And like that's the problem with Master Wato. That's the problem with Yo. And like, all three of them are so boring. His match with Francesco Akira was very good. Akira impressed. He's from France, speaks fluent French. I never saw him before. I did a little bit of research on him, looked a little bit at some of his matches, but didn't see a lot. He looked good. Does he look winner of A Block good? Not yet, but I think over the progression of the tournament and the stories told throughout the tournament, he will. But for a first showing, it was good. So, but Sho, if I had it my way, he would get 0 wins. And
all right, so we're out on Sho. Not even.
Yeah,
don't even bother lacing him up.
I have him at 8 wins, and I feel like that's who do
Sounds
I have
like a lot.
beating?
You have Sho with 8 wins.
8 points. I'm sorry, 8 points.
Okay, I was gonna say that doesn't. All right.
He beats Clark. I have him beating Clark Connors, Yoshinobu Kanemaru, and Alex and I actually had him I had Sho beating Akira, but I said this to you earlier. When I did my spreadsheet of everything, I didn't know the order in which these matches would happen. I didn't look at it. I kind of didn't want to like set that thought in my mind of when I did this. So when I had Sho beating Akira, it was later on in the tournament. It was like in the middle of the tournament, so that he would get another loss under his belt, so that he can, for my prediction for the finals, can happen that way when the points broke out.
I see what you're saying. Next is Taguchi.
Yep.
Versus Takahashi.
Okay. So Wasuki Taguchi. I don't even think I'm saying his first name right.
I'm not. Taguchi.
I don't even want to.
Just so I can get an idea. Right. Okay.
Taguchi is very decorated when it comes to New Gen. He is the former tag partner of Prince Devitt. They won multiple IWGP Junior tag belts together, and he is the funky weapon. Does a lot of butt stuff. Does a lot of hip stuff. I know it sounds bad, but like that's what he does.
No, it sounds funny. Like I love that shit. That's what wrestling is meant to be. You're supposed to say that shit. Like that's good. Yeah.
He's the 69th IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, and he's the 69th IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion. And him and Master Wato their team name is 6 or 9. So he just plays full into it.
Good.
So New Japan's all about factions, right? We have Chaos, we have Bullet Club, heavy. We have Los Ingonables de Japón, but there's also a freelance faction, or as I call it, the New Japan faction, and it's everybody who's not in a faction, like Taguchi, like Wato, like the Ace Tanahashi, him and Hiromu have the same last name. but that's why I say the ace Tanahashi, and Tenzan, Kojima, them as well. Liger was a part of that because he wasn't a part of a faction, and it was just people that New Japan can put together for tag matches that just they're in their own little group together, but they're not a part of anything bigger.
Gotcha.
And that's usually what New Japan does with the Young Lions too, is because the Young Lions are just there to do the 5-6 moves that they are taught to do. They're not affiliated with anybody. We can put them with these people that don't have an affiliation either, and they can have a good match. And they're most of the time veterans. So Taguchi, he's won Best of the Super Juniors before.
Okay. So he's a former winner.
Yep, he's a former winner. He had 10 points last year. I have him at 8. He had 10 points last year. I have him at 8 points this year. If he got 10 points again, I wouldn't be surprised. But I feel like New Japan's going to give him some of his wins are going to be because he's IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion. And New Japan doesn't want to bury one of their champions. Even
Makes sense. Okay, so gold protects these guys in these tournaments sometimes.
Sometimes it does. I can't
to a certain point.
I'm not going to say it's going to protect El Lindaman, Ace Austin.
Right.
Titan has a title, but he didn't bring it with him. Or at least when he came out, I didn't see it. Wheeler Yuta brought the Ring of Honor title.
Nice.
And then Taichi Ishimori, who we're going to get to, is the current reigning IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So sometimes the title is going to make sure, in my opinion, it's going to make sure you don't have 6 or less wins. Unless your name's Master Wado, and then I'm giving you 2 points because I don't like you.
So are these like seeded or no? Is there like a seeding process? Okay.
Nope.
Gotcha. And as for Takahashi, we talked about him earlier. He broke his neck, right? A couple of years ago. He kind of seemed like he was on a roll, and you said he was working with Kushida as well.
Yeah.
So he loses Kushida. He breaks his neck, but he was like that thing with the cat was hysterical. I remember watching that on Access TV, and he came out with that. I'm like, that's golden. Like, this guy's a presentation, So he immediately just grabbed my attention, just walking to the ring.
Yeah.
And then he could fucking go.
So, 100%. He has, when he started feuding with Kushida, when Kushida was with New Japan, and when Kushida left for WWE, he filled the void that Kushida left. He broke his neck against Dragon Lee in the San Francisco show, and there was a void for a while. I'm not sure how the title shook out around that time. I feel like Ospreay stepped up big, and Bushy stepped up big when he was out with the neck injury. But when he came back, it was like nothing happened. He went right back to the top. Rightfully so. He shows up every time. Everyone loves Daryl the Cat. The thing with Tanahashi is every Best of the Super Juniors, he makes a picture book. It's this big giant construction board book tied with string, and it has a picture of all his opponents, and it says something about them. And that's like one of the things he does for Best of the Super Juniors.
Holy shit.
But he is so flamboyant, exuberant.
That was the word I was going to say. Yeah, he is. He literally pops off the page. Like, the only other guy to do that to me when I first started watching New Japan was Tanahashi, and I was like, "Yo, who the fuck?" Like,
I don't know what it is about the Tanahashis, but they're
crazy, man.
There is no relation. I just also want to say they are not related whatsoever. But Tanahashi, Francesco Akira, and we'll get to him, Taichi Ishimori. Those are the favorites. Anytime those Ishimori and Tanahashi are in a tournament, they're the odds-on favorites. Tanahashi is coming off back-to-back Best of the Super Junior wins. He won in 2020, won in 2021. I don't think he should have won in 2020. I think that should have gone to El Desperado. And if you have a chance to see that match, find it. It is amazing. The story they tell, is their bitter rival. It's an amazing story.
Okay.
I don't think he should get it 3 times in a row, 4 times overall, which both would be a record. Nobody's won 3 times in a row. Nobody's won 4 times overall.
Okay.
So,
but there is a 3-time winner.
There's multiple. Jushin Thunder
There's multiple
Liger.
3-time winners.
Right.
Okay.
Jushin Thunder Liger, Tanahashi. I think Kushida won twice.
Okay.
And there's one more. Who else won 3 times? Somebody won 3 times. The funny thing about Liger winning 3 times is before the best of the Super Juniors started in 1994. Before that, it was called the Top of the Super Juniors. So that's where you get the one that had Malenko, the 1993 one that had
people go bonkers over.
Yeah,
like the greatest, one of the greatest tournament of all time.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Too Cold
Which
Scorpio.
I've never watched.
It's good.
I never tape traded. Like the only thing I know is once like YouTube came around and I started floating around on there, I found random shit, but I haven't even dove into these old school tournaments yet.
Yeah,
I found Liger versus like Owen Hart in like 2012, and it blew my fucking skull.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with finding all this stuff.
Yeah, but the 93 one had Benoit, Malenko, Too Cold Scorpio, Eddie Guerrero, Jushin Thunder Liger, Dave Finlay, so that's what it was.
Just off the wall.
Yeah, and then in 94 they had the best of the Super Juniors. Koji Kanemoto, that's the other person who's won 3 times.
Jesus
so Hiromu Takahashi, Jushin Thunder Liger, and Koji Kanemoto have won 3 times. Oh, Liger only won. Okay, no, Liger won 3 times, and that's what I was saying. Liger's third win, they count the Top of the Super Juniors. They count that as one of his wins.
Okay.
But anyways. Okay. So the final match.
Last final match in the A block. YOH.
Yep.
Is that Yo?
Yep. Yo.
Versus Ishimori.
Yep. Taichi Ishimori, the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Okay.
One half of Bullet Club's cutest tag team with El Phantasmo. He is a beast. 5'4", built like a brick shit house.
You were saying that he's 5'4". That's crazy.
5'4". He's
I think I know who this kid is. He's got that armband on his elbow, right? I think I know who he is.
Yeah, he's done a few Impact stuff. Yo, on the other hand,
yes.
Yo, on the other hand, oh my God, this man, so boring. I watched the press conference. He showed up in his school uniform and said he was gonna do his best. That's it. That's
that's the story.
I'm like, he was a finalist last year. He faced off against Hiromu Takahashi last year in the finals, and everyone was like, good, this is Yo's coming out party. He's gonna show up against Hiromu, probably fail, which he did, but then New Japan's gonna do something with him, and okay, cool, we got another person at the top of the pile for the juniors. Nope. He just went back to multi-man matches, and him and Sho had a very surprisingly good match at Wrestle Kingdom. I was not expecting a lot from that match, and it's mostly because I don't like either one of them, but I wasn't expecting much, and they had a very good match. But Yo press conference, he comes out.
This is the press conference. Yeah, that's that. Yep.
He comes out in like this black Japanese traditional attire. Like I don't even know the name of the shirt or any. He just looks so boring, and he just gets on the mic because they all sat at tables and then came up one by one and said something about the tournament and then competitors, and Yo was just like, I'm gonna try my best.
Is that how he normally is though, or did it come out of nowhere? Like, was this a change of character for him?
I don't think so. Every time I've seen him, he is just so boring. His facials are not there. He like and that's kind
because
of unfair.
Naito does that, but he's good. Like he's very laid back, don't care,
Right.
like that tranquilo. And if that's like what he's trying to go for, but is he even a part of that? Like I don't know.
No.
That's just
No.
okay. Gotcha.
He's part of that New Japan faction that's just there. But
Shits.
he's just so boring. Like it's just one of those things where it's just like, dude, come on. Like
Gotcha.
he don't get me wrong, like he shows passion and fight and all that stuff, but like I I don't know what he is or who he is. He's just there.
So he has to find. So Yo has to find himself in this tournament because last year he was the man. This year he's coming in just
I don't think
like a completely.
I don't know what I don't think he's going to. I think he's just he's gonna rack up 1 or 2 wins, maybe 3, and that's it.
Wow,
He like
that's crazy.
and the thing that is most troubling is for him at least is like when he came into the scene, he was with Roppongi 3K, and their manager was Rocky Romero. Rocky oozes charisma. If you cannot learn off that, or if you cannot soak any of that up, I'm sorry, this may not be for
You
you.
might be helpless.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's very good in the ring, fast, he looks good, he's strong, but there's nothing there. And they were saying on commentary, like, the fans want him to do good. They want to get behind him. They just can't. Whereas Ishimori came over from Noah.
I have to look him up. Let me
look him up.
Keep listening. I'm gonna look because I think I know who you're talking about. Go ahead. I'm listening, and I think I know exactly who you're talking about because if it is who I think it is, I 100% on board with this kid.
Ishimori came over from Noah with a lot of fanfare. He had won multiple titles over in Noah. Wrestled the likes of Kenta and Chris Hero and Go Shiozaki.
It's exactly this kid's a fucking badass.
Dude, he's so good. He's so quick.
He's so good.
He is the real deal, and he went to another
he's like a
level.
tinier AJ Styles. Like, I do exactly.
He went to another level when he went to New Japan, and New Japan saw the star in him and just went, go.
Okay.
And he's done so good. And the best part about
so he's gonna kick ass in this tournament.
Oh yeah. So the best thing, or one of the great things about Ishimori when he came over to the New Japan, in Bullet Club, the jobber of Bullet Club, because every faction has that guy or 1 or 2 guys that are only in the match to take a pinfall. They're gonna do their stuff, but in the end, they're taking the pinfall. So in Bullet Club, the Bone Soldier was that person. Okay, it was some dude under a mask that had like a bone face on it. It looked really cool, but that wasn't it. It was just some guy under a mask. And when Ishimori was coming over, he was packaged as the Bone Soldier, Taichi Ishimori. And
that's why he had a mask. Okay, he had a mask in some of those photos.
Yeah. Going into it, I remember seeing in a few Japanese news articles, there was a worry that New Japan was going to mishandle him because of the stigma on Bone Soldier. Not Ishimori, on Bone Soldier. So he came out of the gates like nothing ever before, and he's just been tearing it up since
so
then.
He was just he did that purposely to break the mold of anything he had beforehand.
100%.
He just shredded everything. Good for him.
Awesome. And then pairing him with El Phantasmo, who is very charismatic, and like I'm not a big fan of him.
I don't get him. Yeah, but anything I've seen of his in Impact, and not impressive. Like, how many times you're gonna springboard the ropes up and down, like wrist lock, springboards? Come on, I don't get it, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you like?
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
I don't know.
And we'll get into this later, but his New Japan stuff is a lot better. His New Japan strong stuff for when we're talking about Phantasmo is a lot better. And the pairing of him and Ishimori, they just play so well together, and they're such a great tag team. Like I said, Ishimori is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. I have him at 14 points. Now, I also have Hiromu Tanahashi at 14 points, and I also have Francesco Akira at 14 points. Now, that's a tiebreaker. The way New Japan does tiebreakers is who did you beat? Now, in my bracket, in my block pool, whatever you want to call it, each person beats the other. So Ishimori beats Tanahashi, Tanahashi beats Akira, Akira beats Ishimori. I did this on purpose because my prediction, and it's not going to happen because New Japan is very traditional, very they have, just like WWE, they have their formula and it works for them. But New Japan sometimes steps out of their own mold. Example, Tanahashi versus Kenta at Wrestle Kingdom. It was a street fight essentially for the US title. New Japan rarely ever does anything hardcore whatsoever. So like sometimes they step out. So I'm asking New Japan, I'm pleading with New Japan, please. The first ever triple threat in a block final. Ishimori versus Tanahashi versus Akira. That is, I feel like, and like I said, this is the group of death, okay?
Here's the thing, though.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, if they're going to start coming to the States and they're setting up shop in LA and they're doing shows in Chicago and Washington, the triple threat is big over here. People love it. People love multi-mans. Maybe you're on the right path and they are going to say, okay, here we go. Let's try something different. Let's try something that's a little more popular over here in the States and see how it goes with us. Maybe. I don't know. But you might be onto something, man.
In my opinion, two of the greatest triple threats of all time, Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels, when the first X Division title, I think it was Sacrifice, the first main event of a pay-per-view for the X Division, and then WrestleMania 20, Benoit, Michaels, Triple H. Those are the two best triple threats of all time, in my opinion. And when you look at this block,
no argument there, kid.
When you look at this block, you've got three top guys in Akira, Tanahashi, and Ishimori. I don't know if you're going to give one of them 12 points. And if you do, I'm afraid it's going to be Akira, and I feel like that's the wrong move. I feel like it should be either Ishimori or Tanahashi. If I had to put my money on it, I would put my money on Tanahashi. But at this stage of the game, if you beat Tanahashi, that is a feather in your cap that's bigger than Ishimori or anybody else in this block. Okay? Gotcha. This is Tanahashi in his prime.
Okay.
So, but I have Francesco Akira getting out of A block and making it to the finals.
Okay. Now, so we're done with A block. So we're moving over to B block, which takes place May 17th. So this has not happened yet.
No, this happens tomorrow at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, and this is, you can catch it. If you have New Japan World, you can catch the action live as it happens there. That's the only place you can find this.
Yeah, it's exclusive on New Japan World. If you have any Bushido Road channel, which is the parent company of New Japan, they're probably having on one of them, but that doesn't happen over here in America.
And Bushy Road, are they tied into the video games too over there? Is that what Bushy Road is? Like they own video games or something?
Know. I don't know.
Okay. All right.
I just know they're the parent company of New Japan.
I think there's a tie-in with video games, but I'm not 100% sure. All right. So the first one I have up is El Lindemann versus Doki.
So this matchup right here is very interesting to me because before the press conference, I had Doki at 2 points, 4 points maybe. And that's because of Suzuki-gun, the Minoru Suzuki faction, Doki is that jobber. He is that person that takes the pinfalls every time. At the press conference, El Desperado, his stablemate, got in his face and they almost got into a fight. At night 1 of the Best of the Super Juniors, they were in a 6-man tag. It was Desperado, Taka Michinoku, and Doki versus Alidaman, Titan, and somebody else. And Desperado and Doki were taking jabs at each other and pushing each other the whole time. So that showed me Doki might be a player. He might get 8 points. He might. I don't know. If anything, I think he's going to upset Desperado in this tournament, and it may cost Desperado a spot. The B block is very wide open, but there's 2 or 3 people that I think are going to make it to the finals. But at the same time, Doki can play that upset pick right now. As for El Lindemann, he is a disciple of Sema, who is a Japanese legend.
Yeah, they said this.
Yeah, he a Japanese legend. Pro Wrestling Gorilla over here. He did one WWE Dark match. He's done some Impact stuff, I think. But he was a big player in Dragon Gate, which is the promotion Shingo Takagi came out of.
Are they still around, or is Dragon Gate done?
Yes. No, Dragon Gate's still running strong. They're probably the 3rd or 4th biggest promotion in Japan, behind Noah and all. It probably goes New Japan, Noah, All Japan, Dragon Gate, with Stardom and Ice Ribbon somewhere in there.
Gotcha.
But El Lindemann walks in he comes in with a title as well. And actually, what's funny about El Lindemann, he's the G-Rex champion right now, which is for GLEAT, the promotion called GLEAT. I don't know anything about it, but El Lindemann is he at some point he is leaving New Japan to defend his title somewhere else and coming back to the promotion to finish up the Best of the Super Juniors.
Gotcha.
But El Lindemann, I've watched. He did some AEW stuff. He's done some other stuff, and it's just one of those things where he's very excited. He's very eccentric. He's running all over the place, and he looks good. He seems to be the same height as Ishimori, honestly. Wow. So we'll see how that goes if they ever meet. But I don't expect a lot out of El Lindemann. I think he's going to get somewhere around 10 points. But being a relative unknown and being in B block helps him. But I just don't see him getting any more than 10 points, really.
Gotcha. Okay. And the next one is Bushy versus Phantasmal. And you already know my feelings on Phantasmal. And I know Bushy's name. I haven't seen much of him, but this, I don't know. I don't know. So what do you think of this?
So when it comes to Bushy, he is always someone I've seen as should be more in the promotion when it comes to
Sounds
the juniors.
like it. I hear his name a lot.
So he's always like, if we had to like tier it, you have the top name. You have Tanahashi, Ishimori, El Phantasmo.
Wow.
In like A tier.
No kidding.
Bushy's right in B tier. Like,
did you wait? Who did you say would be in the A tier? Say that again. In the top tier.
Tanahashi, Ishimori, and Phantasmo.
Really?
So
Phantasmo's in the top tier.
So hear me out.
I can't. No, I'm not. No, I don't want to listen to it. Go ahead. If you can sell me on Phantasmo, you can sell ice to Eskimos. I swear to Christ. Go ahead.
So, when it comes to El Phantasmo, his work in New Japan Strong with the back-to-back Super J Cup wins, his tag team matches with Ishimori, and like what was it? Was it Wrestle Kingdom? It was Wrestle Kingdom. In Wrestle Kingdom, he was doing, and leading into Wrestle Kingdom, he was doing a loaded foot instead of like a loaded elbow pad. The heel of his foot was loaded.
That's pretty good.
So he was doing super kicks and knocking knocking out with it.
If that's a start, that's a start, Conway. That's a start.
The IWGP Junior Tag Title match of Wrestle Kingdom, I believe, was a triple threat. It was six or nine. Bullet Club's cutest tag team, and I think it was Robbie Eagles and Rocky Romero. It was Robbie Eagles in Tiger Mask. That's who it was.
Okay.
Halfway through the match, they figure out that El Phantasmo has a loaded shoe, and take his shoe off and remove the loaded part of it.
Yeah.
And I think he finished the match without the shoe on.
Okay.
So
fair enough.
I'm never going to buy an El Phantasmo t-shirt. Not going to ask for an autograph. All I'm saying is,
okay.
I know he does the rope jump thing.
He does some off the wall shit that definitely is different. And I'm always down for that. So if you're going to come up with something like that and then wrestle a match without a boot on to do it, good. All right. So I'll give him a look in Japan. Did you want to stay there? Okay.
Yeah, just real quick. El Phantasmo, because of his history with New Japan and because he's in the B block.
How old is he?
I have no idea. 20s,
okay.
Late 20s.
I was going to say he's relatively young, right? Okay.
I have him doing fairly well this year, and he's 35. Wow. Never mind.
Wow.
He was born in 86.
Holy shit. He doesn't look it.
No, he doesn't. I have him losing to Doki in TJP, and honestly,
I think that's a good call, because anytime you see these guys mixed in, anyone who's being mixed in with Impact in AEW is gonna go places in this tournament, I think. But go ahead.
So my more so, it's because if you look at Block B, you have El Desperado, you have El Phantasmo, Robbie Eagles is a wild card, El Liederman's a wild card, Wheeler Yuta. I want to do very well in this tournament, but I feel he's going to come up just short. And TJP is a wild card. But the constant is El Phantasmo and El Desperado. The L's of Block B have potential to run away with this. El Desperado, El Lindemann, El Phantasmo.
Now, do you think... Oh, sorry, again.
No, go ahead.
I'm jumping the gun on the next match. Go ahead.
So when you look at those three, like my Block B finals is El Desperado versus El Phantasmo.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
My personal want is Wheeler Yuta versus El Desperado. I just have Wheeler Yuta losing to El Desperado, and which causes the tiebreaker to go in the favor of El Desperado. I have El Phantasmo at 14 points, so he automatically qualifies, and then because of the tiebreakers, El Desperado pulls forward.
Gotcha.
So I just think they're going to make they want, with Forbidden Door on the horizon, in this partnership with AEW,
this is where I was going with the next match.
Wheeler Yuta is going to have a good showing.
Yeah.
But he's not going to win. And I think that it's like New Japan's going to go, we did good with your boy. He got 12 points. Like, now give us some, like, almost like scratch my back, I scratch your back. You know what I mean?
Does Blackpool Combat Club get involved at all with any of Yuta matches in this?
They can't.
It's probably not D-Bry. We won't see D-Bry mixed in at all until a major show. Does Moxley get involved? Because he's obviously been over there now.
Unless him and Regal fly over to Japan, I don't think so.
Okay. That's right. They would have to. Okay.
So, but to answer your question in another way, when it comes to, if you watch a New Japan match, you'll see wrestlers around the ring. But they're there as support, unless it's a heel, and then sometimes they're gonna get involved.
The Bucks were always around Kenny's matches.
Right.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
They're there for support. They're not supposed to get involved, but bad guys do bad guy things.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing too is not only do they have other faction mates at the ring, they also have the Young Boys at the ring. So as I've been doing rewatching Wrestle Kingdoms, the Young Boys I've seen around the ring: Hiromu Takahashi, Yoshihashi, Bad Luck Fale, Kushida, I've seen Naito behind, like being a young boy, Okada, like all these names around the ring being young boys is like mind blowing to me, because like I knew they did it, but I never saw them do it. I've only seen them like as they were now, so it's just one of those things that's like,
to see them back then, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh shit, that's when they were kids. It happened with me. I was just watching a match, and I think Juice and David Finlay was around the ring for somebody. He was so young. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Juice Robinson went from WWE to the New Japan Dojo and was a young boy there, and then graduated.
Is he in this tournament? He's not, right? Is he anywhere in here? Juice? He's not.
No. He was always a heavyweight.
Can we get into him? Can we get into him for a quick second then, while we have him coming out of your mouth? What's your thoughts on Juice Robinson?
Okay. I didn't like CJ Parker.
Fair enough.
When he went to when he went to New Japan, I went, oh, good. That's a good move on you. I wasn't sure how New Japan was going to do with him, because he's coming from WWE, given it was a developmental system in WWE, but he's the guy who broke Kevin Owens' nose. So,
oh wow,
so he's a name. What New Japan did was they took him in the dojo, had him be a young boy, but he had so traditionally with young boys, it's black trunks, black boots, that's it. No personality outside of like screaming and showing a little bit of charisma, but no, you're not going to be the ace. You're not going to be the blank. You're just going to be name.
Gotcha.
You get like 6 or 7 moves. That's all you do. And that usually happens for about a year. For Juice, it was probably like 6 months, maybe a little less. But even though he was still doing the young boy stuff, they said, be you. So he came out in gear he was wearing and whatever. So
does having the WWE background Sky take the 6 months off of him that normally someone else would have?
So I think
to get to that position.
So usually with young
kind
boys,
of fast tracks him a little bit, I guess is what I'm trying to ask.
Right. It did because of prior training. You know what I mean?
Fair
like when you're a young boy, you're there to learn the ropes.
And Prince Albert was training in NXT at the time, probably too, and
I think
spent a fair amount of time over in New Japan.
Yeah,
at some
Giant
point, right?
Bernard. Yeah. No, he was a multiple tag team champion with Carl Anderson. He was a powerhouse over there. They loved him over there. So with New Japan, when it comes to young boys, it's a lot of like, you're there to take the bumps, break the ring down. I don't know if you've seen it. After matches, you'll see people run into the ring and put an ice pack on the person's neck or back or something. Mm-hmm. That's what the young boys do. Blah, blah, blah. Right. Like just grunt work. So I think with Juice, they went, we don't have to do all of that with you. You've taken your bumps, you've taken your licks. So that it's not that part. So they let him be him. He found a partner in Dave Finlay. They were Finjuice. They had very good success as tag team champions. I did not care for them whatsoever.
I like Dave. David Finlay grew on me big time. Big, like when they first hit the scene in Impact, I was like, I don't like either one of these guys. And then as they continued, I felt like I thought Finlay was going to break out. Juice was just way too silly for me. And Finlay was like, any match they had, he always did something that was like, oh shit, like this kid's awesome. And then they took the Impact titles over to New Japan. And I was like, all right, maybe something's going to happen for Finlay. It ended up going the other way.
So here's my issue with Finlay. I think it's because of his father. I'm expecting more, and I'm not getting it.
Fair enough.
I don't get him. You know, with his father, whether it be WCW or in WWE, you knew what he was about. With Dave Finlay, the son, I don't know.
He kind of came off. To me, he kind of came off as Adam Cole light in Impact. Like, that was what he was going for. His mannerisms, like, I felt like he was taking a lot from what Cole was doing, and that was like that's what he was aiming for, like the Adam Cole of Impact.
Okay.
Without as much talent. I'm saying is like his mannerisms, the way he came off, the way he hit the ring, certain things he would do, the way he would throw things. I'm like, okay, he's just watching a lot of Adam Cole and trying to figure it out. That was my take on it, but I liked him.
So
I fucking hate Juice Robinson. I'm going to say it. I can't stand this kid. I can't, man. Every time are we recapping Capital Collision? Should I save that? I mean, are we going to get to that tonight, you think? Or?
Yeah, we'll get to that, but not right now.
Okay. All right, great. Yeah. So spoiler alert. Go ahead.
So, but I always thought Juice was a great promo. Oh my God, his promos were good.
Yes.
They were very
entertaining. He's got a lot of fire in him, and
So his contract recently came up with New Japan. There was speculation he was going to go back to WWE. There was speculation he was going to move to the States full time and not go back to Japan. Nobody knew what was going on. When he joined Bullet Club at Wrestling Dotaku, I went good. Because I always thought Juice Robinson doing Juice Robinson things as a bad guy is going to be so much better. And like you said, we'll get to it. His promo at Capital Collision, I loved it. I like heel Juice Robinson. I don't like.
It's much better.
Flamboyant.
It's more palatable. 100%.
Pirate hat Juice Robinson.
Get that out of my fucking face, bro.
Don't like Elton John Juice Robinson.
And I feel like he was doing it on purpose because he didn't want to do it. Like, I almost felt like he was mocking it, and it made it even worse. That's how I took it, because I'm like, there's no way this kid really wants to act like this. Like, there's no way.
I felt like that. I would feel like that if it was WWE.
Okay. Good point.
With New Japan, they're very much lenient, especially when he went to Impact.
They won't force you into a situation.
I feel like they'll be like, okay, when you go over to Impact, find your voice and then come back over with it.
Cool.
And that's what happened with Jay White. Jay White was very cookie cutter. Let me be clear. Everyone hates Jay White. I'm the only Jay White fan. I love Jay White. I've always loved Jay White. When he was over at Ring of Honor, he was very cookie cutter, very plain. And I was like, all right, I know he has it. I don't know when he's going to find it. And then somewhere between Ring of Honor and a flight back to Japan, we got King Switch, we got the Switchblade, and it was off to the races from there. And he's one of the top heels in wrestling, bar none. He's one of the top 5.
I don't think I want to admit it as much with him now, but you're right. And like, I think you even kind of like in the group chat when you're like, nah, he's like, I said something, you kind of like, you popped as the antennas went up, and I was like, okay, like a Conway saying, take a look at this kid, like you're wrong. Take a look at him. And I did, and I was like, I see it. And I've just hated him for so long, I don't want to have to like this guy, but I think I think Jay White's about to turn me.
So we talked about it earlier today a little bit.
Fucking wild.
Wrestling in Japan and wrestling over here are two different animals.
It's not even the same thing, man. It's like, that's real like that. Japan's like fucking as real as you're gonna get. I hate using those words, but
no, it's true though.
It's right. Like that style, that's strong style, that's not a gimmick. That's not like, yeah, they threw it on. WWE might have thrown it on a shirt for Shinsuke Nakamura, but no, go watch a fucking Japan match and tell me like these motherfuckers aren't hurting.
Real quick about Shinsuke, there was Wrestle Kingdom 1 and 2 back to back, or it was like 2. It was like a small stretch of the Wrestle Kingdoms. I swear this man was trying to kill himself, in his matches. He was just picking the toughest guys and just going in and beating the crap out of them. There's two people in wrestling that I've thought had death wishes. It's Kenta and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Those are two guys I have to dive into.
I
love Shinsuke. I love him.
There's a match from Noah with Kenta, and it had like 2 of the 4 pillars or something. There's a YouTube video where it shows him with the Kenta against the 4 pillars, and it's like he's just trying to get himself killed. He really is. And it's just like, oh my god. Like I don't understand.
I'm about to die. Give me 1 second. Sorry.
You're fine. But Jay White is just so good so often, and like he did a little bit of it in New Japan, in Impact, but like his return with New Japan with Wrestling Dontaku, because
I don't think I watched that.
So throughout the show for Wrestling Dontaku,
I might be on my Fight TV too. I gotta take a look at it.
Kevin Kelly was like Jay White. The presence of Bullet Club was throughout the show, and Kevin Kelly was like, New Japan's not going, or Jay White's not going to be here. He's over in the States. He's 14 hours away. Blah blah blah. All leading up to the main event. Okada beats Naito for the 800th time, and then Jay White comes out of nowhere.
I remember this. I did watch it because I thought it was going to be Omega. I thought for some reason, I don't know why. I thought because he was off the board.
Real quick about Omega, if I had to put money on it, he makes an appearance at Forbidden Door.
But 100% he does.
But he is, to me, he's we're not seeing Omega till 2023. I sincerely,
what?
He had like
in the ring, like.
Yeah, I think he had he had like 3 or 4 surgeries stacked on each other, and those are at least like each surgery is like a few
What are we talking apart. For injuries? What do we know? Like I don't pay attention to when guys go away. I try not to like find out what's going on. I don't know. Like, I knew he was hurting, but I didn't look into it.
From what I heard, it was both shoulders.
Okay.
His
back, so nothing major like knees, back. All right.
His knee was bothering him, and he had a sports hernia. And sports hernias can be very tricky with their recovery because sometimes it's one wrong move and it's right back there. So
gotcha.
With shoulders, knees, and hernias, they're like 2 or 3 months, from what I understand, of like before you can have your next surgery. So that's half a year right there. You know what I mean? And
how long has he been gone already, though? He's been gone a while.
Whenever Hangman won the belt.
Okay, so Hangman hasn't been champ for 6, 3 or 4 though. I think now.
Yeah, so like I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see Kenny back in the ring. I just don't think it's going to be till 2023.
I'm not even a huge Kenny guy, but more so AEW. I feel like needs it, and I can't believe I'm saying that because I was the biggest. Like where he's not going to translate in the States. Like even before like AEW showed up, or like when the rumors were coming, I'm like, this kid, like no one's going to get it. You know, just his personality more. Like, yeah, his matches are great, but
some people don't.
I don't know. And then he did, and as progressively through AEW, he grew on me. He still wasn't the guy I wanted him to be. So I'm excited to see him come back and see what's going to happen because I think he's out to prove a point the minute he steps back into AEW, and I think it's going to be the biggest breath of fresh air they could ever have. So,
all right, back to the B block.
Yeah,
what are we talking about next?
B block. We just did Lindemann and Dokai, Bushy, Phantasmal, Eagles in Yuta. We kind of touched on that.
Yuta, so here's the thing. Wheeler Yuta, I have, like I said, in my biased opinion, I would love him to be in the finals overall. I've been a fan of Yuta since he joined Best Friends. So I want good things for him. I just don't think it's going to manifest. I just think he's going to be right on the bubble and miss it. As for Robbie Eagles, former IWGP Tag Team Champion, fan favorite, and he's a wild card. I don't know with him what he's going to do or how he's going to be. I feel like he has the potential to be top points getter in this bracket or in this block.
But not in this match. Not here. Yuta wins this one.
Yeah, Yuta wins this one, and
Easily.
I think Robbie Eagles is going to be. I have him at 8 points, but I think he can get easily 10, maybe 12. You could sell me on 12.
Wow. All right. So yeah. All right. Yuta to win, but Eagles to go on and do bigger things.
Yeah, potentially.
Gotcha. Okay. Do you want to stay there? Or you want to go on to the next one?
Go to the next one. We're good.
Master Wato versus TJP.
Okay. I'm going to start with TJP because it's going to be the shorter. I love TJP. I've always loved TJP. He is smooth as silk in the ring. And yes. I never thought I would like heel TJP.
Much better.
It's so good.
Much better.
It's
night and day.
Good.
So good. Him with an attitude is a completely different ballgame.
Oh yeah.
When he's a babyface, he gets really stagnant, and it's the same shit every time out. And you can tell he feels like a guy that if he doesn't have something going on, he hits cruise control and doesn't change out.
So
for me, that's what I've noticed in Impact, at least.
If you watch,
I'd much rather watch a Trey Miguel match. Yeah. What, you not like Trey?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch. Yeah. I've not watched much Trey Miguel, but it's weird.
As baby faces, I think, and I'm kind of hit or miss on both of them, but lately, like TJP was really like I would like literally collectively sigh out loud when he would hit the ring, and I'd be like, "The fuck!" Like I don't even want to deal with. I don't even want to watch his match.
No,
at least Trey feels like he's always trying to step up as a baby face.
So for me,
that's not even bad.
Every time I look at Impact results and I see Trey with a win, I'm like, oh, okay, good for you. Like I don't know why I just don't expect
it's pretty much right. Yeah. I mean, after they lost the Rascals, like, yeah, I get it. You kind of just floundered.
But Robbie Eagles, to me, is face TJP with a little bit more charisma. Like when you watch Robbie Eagles, you'll see TJP-esque.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That's
a
good way to. Yeah.
I despise Master Wato. He came in during the pandemic era to a lot of fanfare. He got like 5 or 6 vignettes. He was touted to be the next top guy in the junior division, and he comes out, does this weird thing with his hands, and that's it. He is like, it's one thing for you to be a young boy, develop, grow, graduate, make your own character, and then succeed. You do not do the young boy shtick, have an excursion, come back, and do the young boy shtick with a character. He was like, oh, I'm gonna learn under Hiroshi Tenzan. I'm gonna learn under Kojima. I'm gonna learn under Yuji Nagata. I'm gonna learn under Taguchi, and I'm gonna like, dude, you should have already done this.
Okay.
To also,
I see where you're at.
No. Like, he tries to have charisma, and it's in the body, not in the face. Like,
facial expressions is so important. Like, I completely agree with that.
He talked at the press conference. He talked in bullet points. He would say one thing. He would say one thing. Stop. Say another thing. Stop. Say another thing.
There's no fluidity.
I was like, dude, just sit down. I don't want you on my screen. I don't want you anywhere near me.
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV.
Yeah. Get him off. I biasly, what did I give him? Where is he? Where I don't even want him on my page.
I don't even want my spreadsheet.
I generously gave him 6 points, and I think, and like, he's gonna get wins because he's the IWGP Junior Tag Team Champion.
Again, so gold helps. Gotcha.
But if I'm booking that tournament, this motherfucker is getting no wins whatsoever. He's losing to Doki. He's losing to I don't want him on my screen whatsoever.
I'm here for it. I love that.
Get him out. Get him out.
Cool.
Keep him out.
Lock the door.
Send him away.
All right. So that's Master Wato versus TJP. Next is Titan, not Titan, like the way he looks. Titan versus El Desperado.
Okay. Titan.
I have something written next to Desperado's name. I don't know what the fuck it is though. So I don't know. There's a note there.
I have no idea.
I have no idea. Couldn't tell you.
So Titan competed in the 2019 Best of the Super Juniors, got 6 points, but he's grown. He's become a little bit better, he's a B block is a wild card block. I don't know what to expect from it. If you told me Titan got like 10 points, I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. New Japan has a strong relationship with CMML. Fine. If you told me he got 4 points, I'd be like, okay, yeah, he got 6 last time he was here. That's about where I would have him. El Desperado is my favorite junior in New Japan right now.
Okay.
He's always been.
Oh, that's what it says. Finals. You have him going to the finals.
Yep.
Yep. That's
El
the
Desperado was always a low key favorite of mine, and then 2020 Best of the Super Juniors, he started to gain steam. He makes it to the final against Hiromu Tanahashi, and they tell almost as perfect as a wrestling story in a match you can tell. This match, I will never say it enough, is one of the best New Japan matches of all time. One of the best junior matches of all time. Hiromu Tanahashi.
Takahashi.
Best of the Super Junior Finals 2020.
2020.
El Desperado is going to be one of the favorites to come out of this block. But there's also a little bit of me that has a sneaking suspicion New Japan's going to do him dirty, and he's going to get 8 to 10 points, and it's just going to be back to El Desperado from 2018-19, just middle of the pack.
Wow.
Everyone expecting more and never getting it. And that hurts my heart to say, but New Japan has done people dirty before for no reason, in my opinion.
That's fucking wild.
It is. New Japan booking is the most unpredictable booking you will ever see in your life. Is that everybody in Block B?
That's it, man. That's the A block, and that is the B block.
Okay, so for the B block, I have El Phantasmo at 14 points. I have Wheeler Yuta at 12 points, and I have El Desperado at 12 points. But because I have El Desperado beating Wheeler Yuta, El Desperado gets the tiebreaker win. So it's El Phantasmo versus El Desperado in the finals of B block. El Desperado gets out of there to face Francesco Akira, and I have Francesco Akira defeating El Desperado in the finals. With that win, Francesco Akira becomes the first French wrestler to win the Best of Super Juniors.
Wow.
He becomes the first Gaijin to win the Best of Super Juniors since Will Ospreay did it in 2018 or 19. And he becomes the youngest person ever to win the Best of the Super Juniors at 22.
This is all Akira.
This is all Francesco Akira. And that I feel like this is an A block year. If you have my biased opinion is give it to Wheeler Yuta. My brain tells me it's going to be Akira or Ishimori. I don't think it's going to be Tanahashi. I'm going to be upset if it's Tanahashi because I don't think he needs it 3 years in a row. I don't think he needs it 4 times overall.
Okay.
If New Japan does not pull the trigger on Akira and give him the best of Super Juniors, I feel like at that point, something with the United Empire needs to happen. You had Jeff
United
Cobb,
Empire feels like, they're fucking stacked, bro. That is just, they're loaded.
You had Great-O-Khan and Jeff Cobb win the tag belts from Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto, only to drop them. I don't even know how short their title run was. Like, it felt like it was for a cup of coffee. And, like, you're telling me that you have this great stable, amazing stable. Oh, they dropped the belts to Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens. Now, I love that Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale got the tag belts. It was long overdue. But you gave Jeff Cobb and Great-O-Khan 22 days as IWGP Tag Team Champions. 22 days. Like, I don't get it.
Right.
I don't like they're both beasts. Great-O-Khan, Jeff Cobb, beasts.
Dude, yeah.
And
Jeff Cobb is fucking legit. My buddy's been on him for a long time or whatever, because he's like, we were down in Dallas, I think, at one of the big shows they would do down there, like the WrestleCon Super shows, and Jeff Cobb showed up. He's like, watch this kid. I'm like, all right. And he wasn't fucking lying. The kid's an animal.
Dude, he had like, I had him winning the New Japan Cup, and he got bounced. I was like, why are you not pulling the trigger on him? Like,
you have to let him go. You have to he's better than Jonah, like 1,000 times better than Jonah. 1,000 times. And it was, sorry, Gab. Yeah.
No, I was just going to wrap up. That was best of the Super Juniors. That was my thoughts on it. Do you have any questions for about the best of the Super Juniors?
No, once I sleep on it and re-listen to this and look at it again, and like it all comes together, I'm sure I'll hit you up with like, oh, this, and this. Like once you know what I mean? Like there's so much. Once all the pieces start to come together, and I actually start to watch it too. I'll have some stuff for you. But as for now, no, that's enough.
All right. You want to talk about Capital Collision now?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we can run that down.
Okay. So we don't have to talk about the whole thing, but there's a few things I want to hit on. I know you had some notes about it too.
I don't have those notes. I could bring my phone. I kind of put the main notes I wanted to. Okay, you got them. I rewrote them down on a piece of paper, and so if you have my actual notes, that's great. I have my phone.
So, like, there's not much I want to talk about when it comes to Collision Course. So,
okay. Were you not a fan of the show?
So, once you got to the first half of the show, no. Once we hit Brody King, Minoru Suzuki, I was. Okay. But I want to be clear. I liked a lot the TMDK versus United Empire match.
Yeah.
But it's not why I was in. It was not why I was buying.
Right.
The tease of Jeff Cobb and Jonah.
That's the only reason I was watching it.
It's that match is going to be not to be funny, but monstrous. Like, that match is going to be crazy.
Did they announce it for Dominion? Is that
an
official match? But it looks like it's either going to be there or it's going to be Forbidden Door. Those are only a couple days apart too, right? Like
I don't know, honestly.
All right, sorry.
I couldn't tell you. Brody King versus Minoru, I very much enjoyed. I always.
26th.
I don't hate Brody King. I don't like Brody King. I get Brody King, but
I don't even get him.
He just doesn't do it for me. I like him with Aleister Black, or Malachi Black, sorry. I like him in that faction. I feel bad saying this about him, not so much other people sometimes, but if I never see another Brody King match, I won't be upset.
I'm fine with it. I don't get it. I don't. I don't see the big deal about him. I don't at all.
I've enjoyed some of his Ring of Honor stuff. He's just not my cup of coffee.
Right.
But
same. Maybe it's the same for me too.
I just thought, but again, I thought he did very well with Minoru Suzuki, and but
it's Minoru Suzuki. Like, of course, if you're not doing okay with Minoru Suzuki, then get the fuck out.
It's Murder Grandpa Minoru Suzuki, which him versus Yuji Nagata every time is just a death wish match. Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston was everything I wanted it to be, except for Eddie Kingston not getting the win. Don't get me wrong. The fact that Tomohiro Ishii has not been IWGP World Heavyweight Champion at least once is a criminal injustice.
He's taken a couple losses lately, and I can't put my finger on which ones they were, but I felt that
Josh Alexander. He beat Minoru Suzuki last time they were in America.
Maybe it was just. I mean, Alexander's completely understandable. There was another one I thought that he lost that I was like, I don't like that, but I was not expecting. And I love Eddie Kingston, bro. I love him. Like, I feel like he's at home when he is working with someone from Japan and that style. He is just the most comfortable he's ever been, and he goes and he looks so much better than he does anywhere in AEW.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing though. Is Eddie grew up on All Japan.
Right.
So that's where his bread and butter is. That's why he does so well with the Japan style.
It's fucking awesome.
Like, the match started with chops. I'm done. That's it. I'm glad.
Stop it. It was way too. Yeah, but it was way. They keep going back to it. And I'm like, just once, maybe twice. Like, that was my only only problem with that match.
But that's the thing, though, is if you watch that era of Kawada, Misawa,
it's a lot of that.
Takeda. I'm sorry that I messed that up. But in like Kawada, it's chops, it's kicks, it's like stiff ass forearms. Okay. And like one of my favorite things is when Ishimori just takes it and absorbs it and just okay.
So good.
Come on.
So good, dude.
And that's why he's the Stone Pitbull. And like that was everything I wanted from that match, except for Eddie Kingston taking the loss. Like,
fair enough.
Sorry, I wanted Kingston to take the win there.
So he's gonna get it at Forbidden Door.
So I don't know if Kingston's on the Forbidden Door card. He's not on my Forbidden Door card. So put a pin in that. I want to do a Forbidden Door podcast. I really do. I have a lot of thoughts on Forbidden Door.
Okay. Yeah. Well, all right.
That's going to be it's a whole other thing.
So that is Forbidden Door is June 26th.
Okay.
Okay. Dominion is June 12th. So it looks like there's, what's that, about 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So there's 2 weeks in between those shows.
Yeah. So they
same month.
That well.
Okay.
Hakaleo and Jay White versus Okada and Rocky Romero. That was fine. That was fine. I don't care for Hakaleo.
Me neither.
And I'm a big fan of GOD. I'm the biggest fans of GOD. Guerrillas of Destiny are amazing. They're one of the best tag teams New Japan has produced in the last 10 years. I think Tongaloa got hurt coming out after the match.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you noticed it, but when
didn't.
he came out, he came down the stairs that were at the entranceway and he was limping. Like he got in the ring and was limping, left the ring, was limping. I think he got hurt coming down the leg.
There was my issue with this match is there was a lot of misses in the production, and I get it. There was a lot going on inside and outside, but they did not handle this match well. I thought it was a bad showing for New Japan the way they produced this match.
Okay.
They missed a lot.
I didn't notice it.
They did.
I'm bad with noticing production unless it's blatant.
See, for me it was like, I know I'm not like nitpicky like that. Ospreay missed a monster move, and it seemed so important at the time. He hit a pose after, and they were even like, "Oh, we'll get that in the replay."
Right.
Oh wait, you know what? I'm sorry.
No, that was the 4-way.
Well, that's why. Okay, that's where I'm at. Sorry, I saw that in the things.
So here's what I'll say about the 4-way when it comes to that, because I did notice that.
I had that for some reason. I had that under the bullet club.
That is a weird communication, because I would think as a camera guy, you're told that in your headset, somebody tells you that the camera's not, you're not the camera in on focus right now.
Right.
So you could be moving around, whatever. One of the reasons New Japan tries to stay away from 4-way matches is for this exact reason.
But why have so much? Why have so much going on the out? Like it was noted that we're going to put 2 guys on the outside, we're going to put 2 guys on the inside, and almost have 2 separate matches going on the whole time. And I could not fucking stand that. I get they wanted the big moment from Moxley and Tanahashi coming down. Like they wanted to look like a 1-on-1, right? Like he comes back down the stage after everyone clears. Tanahashi's waiting for him, right? And I get that. So I got why they kicked the match off like that, to get the 2 guys out of the way, to have that moment to say, hey, this is what we're building to. This is what's going to happen. Awesome. But then it continued throughout the whole match, and they missed so much cutting back and forth, and it almost ruined the whole match for me.
So for me, that's partially on the workers. You know what I mean? Like,
all right,
it's partially enough. Like, hey, there may be a camera pointed at you, but that doesn't mean it's getting what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of want to work. It's one of those things where, like, you got to do stuff and be okay if it gets missed.
Okay.
So if Ospreay did that for the crowd and was okay with that being missed, fine.
Okay.
But the other thing too, and it's not the best reasoning or excuse or whatever. There's some stuff like that, for example, where I'm like, oh, I'll see it on TikTok, or somebody will throw it up on YouTube or something. Like, you know, I almost
re-downloaded Twitter just to see if someone caught it, because I wanted to see what happened.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm not even doing that tonight. Like that'll suck me into the whole thing I don't want to do right now. Right. And I was like, I'll find it somewhere.
But again, you shouldn't think of things like that. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah.
I like what they're doing. I don't like, and I like what they're doing with Ospreay. I like how he's getting screwed at every chance. I hate that because I want Ospreay to do so well. You know what I mean? But I love that they're doing this story with him.
So is he, this is where I hate even asking this shit. Like, is he on the New Japan roster? Like, is he, does he work for them? He is officially like, okay.
He's 100% a New Japan talent.
That's all I needed to know. I wasn't sure if he was just like popping in and out, and that's why they he came in as champ. It goes on Juice at the end of the night, right?
No,
that's how that.
Tanahashi came in champion.
Sorry, Tanahashi came in as champion. Ospreay comes in with the Rev Pro belt. That's where I remember seeing him with a title. Okay.
Yeah, he has the Rev Pro belt.
He has the Rev Pro belt. Tanahashi comes in as champ. Gotcha.
So my thing was like, okay, when I was looking at this match, I was like, okay, Tanahashi can walk out with it. I don't think you're going to give it to Mox. Please don't give it to Mox. I don't want you to give it to Mox. I was like, Ospreay should get it, but he's probably going to get screwed, which is what they're doing with the story, which is perfectly fine. Juice arguably needs it, because, like, so new bad guy, new persona.
A little early, though. I felt like it was a little early.
It is if Juice isn't a 2-time former IWGP United States champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it was the right move, because you're not going to give it to Mox. You could keep it on Tanahashi, but that kind of feels the wrong move. Like, it almost would put an uncomfortable feel in the room. And you're so engulfed in a storyline with Ospreay, it makes no sense to give it to him now. Like, this is going to sound bad, but at Capital Collision, you're going to give it to Will Ospreay. Like,
that's not the spot. That's not a spot for Will Ospreay to have a big title.
Right.
I agree.
And a returning Juice Robinson, fresh off a character change.
Fair enough.
All right, you sold me a little bit. Don Taku makes an impact there. it just made sense to me that Juice wins it there.
This is where my mind goes off the rails, and like I don't even like mention this shit, but like my initial thought was we're not seeing Tanahashi on Forbidden Door, so but they want the belt displayed, so we're gonna get Juice instead. That's where my mind went the minute Juice won that title.
See, I have
I don't know if that's
on Forbidden Door.
Okay. See, I don't.
I have Tanahashi Mox on Forbidden Door. One of my my mock cards that I did for Forbidden Door had Blackpool Combat Club in a 6-man tag because New Japan likes to do a lot of 6-man tags. I rethought it and I was like, no, Tanahashi versus Mox by themselves. That's going to be the match they want. It's the match they've been building to. So
okay,
that's where I feel like they're going with that.
Yeah, see, I think it's going to happen at Dominion, but maybe.
Dominion, I think is just going to be, it's going to be Best of the Super Junior winner versus the IWGP Junior Heavy against Ishimori. Sorry, you're going to have Okada versus Jay White. You're going to have the tag titles on.
They got Tama versus Machine Gun, Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens, Shingo and Tashi officially announced.
Oh, they did announce Shingo and Taichi. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing. There's not one match announced for Forbidden Door yet, is there?
No, they're not. They're not going to. They're not going to for a while.
It's a month away.
Yeah.
Right? Am I looking at that right? Like how many weeks are we away are we from this show?
I couldn't tell you.
Forbidden
Door June 26th.
It's June 26th. Away. We're a little over 4 weeks away from Forbidden Door, and we're not building to one match yet.
1, 2, 3.
I mean, I guess maybe we are.
4, 5. We're 6 weeks away.
6 weeks. Okay,
6
so they get 2
yesterday.
Okay, 6 is a little more, but they need to start sooner than later, man.
No, I understand what you're saying. I just don't think they. I think they're.
You don't think they what?
I just think that they are. It's gonna be once they get past Dominion, they're gonna build. They're gonna pepper some people in because Dominion doesn't. The thing with New Japan is like because like you've seen they announce the title matches for Dominion are announced. They don't need to build to those. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And the build to them is just going to be tag matches and multi-man matches. So you can set up for Forbidden Door throughout and not hurt Dominion.
This is where I fall into the trap of what Tony Khan does so poorly. Like he's been getting so excited for this for so long since that big show he dropped in New York. I forget what the name of it was. Like the one he dropped in the tennis stadium, right? Like for so long we've been waiting for something to happen. And now we're 6 weeks away, and we don't have anything etched in stone yet. So I guess that's on me as a viewer, I shouldn't fall for Tony's shit.
So I don't think that's Tony's fault. I think that's New Japan. As much as I'm a New Japan fanboy and preacher and all that other stuff, it's New Japan. If this is what I think the mindset is probably with New Japan, that's going to sell out. They could announce the full card the night before, and it's going to sell out regardless. That show does not need a build. It doesn't. Okay. But it's good to have it, and it should be there.
I'm also old school, and that's another mentality I need to get away with today's wrestling. Like, not everything needs a fucking month build. Like, you can blow something up within 2 weeks and have it be hot as shit. But
the thing is like when you look at like New Japan built Dominion off of Wrestling Dontaku.
Right.
Jay White versus Okada is booked the day after Wrestling Dontaku. You know what I mean? Like I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying you're wrong for thinking that. I'm saying is New Japan does things their way, and you can either do it this way and go with us on this ride, or you can do it your own way and we might not work with you again.
Gotcha.
So and that's a hindrance, and it's a good thing, and it's one of those weird things because like if this was like the 80s or the 90s, I would be like, all right, New Japan, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
But now I'm like they've righted their ship from what Inoki did.
Okay, fair enough.
What else you
Fair
want to
enough.
talk about?
I mean, other than that, man, we pretty much covered everything. I think we went through the A and B block. We went through Capital Collision. We touched on Dominion and Forbidden Door.
We're gonna do a whole thing on Forbidden Door. Just you wait.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a whole thing.
No, I'm down for that. I mean, yeah, I'm good with everything we did tonight. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Good, man.
All right.
All right.
That sounds great.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching. My name's Conway. That's Dom. This is episode 1, and as long as Nestle doesn't absolutely hate it, episode 2 is gonna come.
We'll be back for 2.
And even if Nestle hates it, we still may do episode 2.
I am down for anything, man. You let me know.
All right.
All right.
Bye, everybody.